Hi, I'm Daniela Forshaw from Daniela's Dogs. I'm about to post a written piece on social media, and it's quite lengthy, goes on quite a lot. So I thought it would be easier to also complement it with a voice speaking piece because it's not always easy to read something that's quite heavy. But maybe you won't get to the end of listening to this either. Maybe it's boring, maybe you don't care, maybe you do. But here we go. I will read my piece to you. What it's about is the terminology that you'll often hear me refer to about using an appropriately qualified groomer. So I often use the terminology, make sure you use an appropriately qualified, certified, experienced dog groomer. It's a minefield for pet owners to find the right professional to be responsible for their dog's health, hygiene and welfare, which is the primary reason you take your dog to a groomer. The haircut style and what the dog looks like should be the secondary reason. I've been grooming for 14 years and have extensive experience with dogs from age birth right through to 19 years old. I'm a City and Guild certified advanced qualified dog groomer. I have a distinction pass in my knowledge. I also hold a certificate for canine first aid. I use the term appropriately qualified as I see so much inconsistency in the industry with regard to the qualification system. There are unrecognised qualifications, in-house qualifications, which basically means you pay someone to teach you and they say well done and print you off a certificate for attending a crash course. There are also really poor systems that pass undereducated groomers as qualified when they are not ready at all. Within the last 10 years, the recognised certification organisations even stopped using exam centres with impartial examiners. And training centres started popping up all over the country and passing their own students in-house. Of course they would. At the end of the day, the industry is not regulated and you do not need to be qualified by law. Anyone can take lethal blades and a live moving animal and call themselves a groomer. That's why you hear of dogs getting injured and groomers getting injured badly, as they don't have the vital handling skills. The industry is massively undervalued and underpaid. This is driven by so many inexperienced, unprofessional groomers offering the service at an unreasonably, unsustainably low price, and pet owners not having knowledge of why and assuming we're all the same. The problem you'll find with unqualified, poorly qualified, and even worse, pet owners that decide to have a go themselves is the equipment used will be a really poor quality and often dangerous. Most of these people won't know the correct safe procedure of how to use the equipment and the types of blade that need to be used, and more worryingly, what blades not to be used on specific areas of the dog. Also, the vital parts of the grooming that need to be performed for the health, hygiene and welfare concerns will not be done, as it takes an appropriately qualified, experienced groomer to do this. Pet owners and amateur groomers now have access to the internet full of conflicting videos on how to groom your dog. Anyone that encourages amateurs to use blades, scissors, clippers, nail cutters, metal shedding tools, etc., is extremely irresponsible. If you do insist on watching those videos with no knowledge of what methods are correct and no experience, do your dog a huge favour. Have your emergency vet's phone number on standby. One false move and you'll need it. Once your dog has a bad experience, going forward, you are then expecting someone else to take on its behaviour, which by that point is often dangerous for both the dog and the professional. It's time for people all over the country to start taking on board the responsibility of why they are grooming their dog and what is involved. As well as skill, experience, knowledge, there are a whole range of things behind the scenes that most pet owners and amateur groomers won't even think about. I use the highest quality equipment, scissors, products. I hire the most talented services like scissor sharpeners. There are things like equipment, sterilisation, fumigation, knowledge of safe working environments, security, and let's not drone on about the volume of deep cleaning and admin. A professional, appropriately qualified groomer is the person that prevents your dog from going to the vet because the dog's health and hygiene is appropriately maintained. Personally, I never need to be told how marvellous I am or given reassurance, but I do need people to fully understand the quality and knowledge of service that they get from me. I wonder how many of you will read or listen until the end. If I can persuade just one person to have a think about these points from this, I may have just saved another poor dog's tongue getting sliced, or another amateur groomer from going to hospital with major life-changing bite and tear wounds to their hands and face. If you love dogs, start taking the industry very seriously. Expect to pay appropriately for your services with your professional groomer. It's like walking into a Michelin star restaurant and asking the head chef to cook you the finest lobster and steak meal and expecting to pay Aldi Tim Spam prices with a kid cooking it.